Hello and welcome back to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about Oklahoma State Cowboys versus the Baylor Bears is our host, Mr. Logan Landers. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, Jeremiah? It's our final game preview here for championship week here on Monday for us. Man, we're kicking things off. We did a great show so far. We already talked about the AAC with Houston and Cincinnati. Then went to the Pac-12 with Oregon and Utah. We just got done with the Big Ten with Michigan and Iowa. And we're wrapping it up with the Big 12 with Oklahoma State and Baylor. It's going to be a good matchup, man. I can't wait to get into it.
Absolutely. And for everybody watching at home, thank you so much for spending your Thanksgiving talking about 100 yards of football and telling your friends and family by word of mouth all about us. And now that we're into the full Christmas season, thank you so much for all of the times that you will tell your friends and family about us going forward. That word of mouth support, telling them one-to-one, hey, I've been listening to this show, 100 yards of football. Have you heard of it? And they're going to go, well, maybe. Or they're going to go, of course, I listen to it every week. Or maybe they go, no, tell me more. I haven't heard of that yet. Then when you tell them about that and endorse us personally with your recommendation, that's one of the reasons we've been able to have such a strong support every single week for the show, and which is growing leaps and bounds. And now we've got a whole new factor coming in. We're going to be doing some great giveaways and some great ways to bring in even more people. So thank you so much. Please leave your comments and tell us how you found us, why you joined with us, and why you love us. And keep listening on the podcast as well. So, Mr. Logan Landers, tell us, Oklahoma State versus Baylor, what do the fans have to look forward to on this championship week?
And Oklahoma State pulled off a big win last week in the Battle of Bedlam against their rivals, Oklahoma Sooners. They've got the win 37-33 in a close matchup, a very good college football program for both these teams, a very good college football game. But Oklahoma State just a little bit too much. Spencer Sanders, 19-30. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He's got to clean it up. They want to win this championship game. But he also got it done on the ground. That was really where he made his mark. 93 yards, 16 carries, 1 touchdown. Also, Jalen Warren got a touchdown and Tay Martin. So they're able to get it done on the ground, 140 yards as a team. The receiving core, like I mentioned, Tay Martin, 7 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown on the air. Blaine Green, 5 catches for 42. The defense, like I said, they gave up 33 points. You got to keep it a little bit lower, I think, if you don't win this game. Malcolm Rodriguez led the way with 11 tackles. He's looked really good this season. Also had 2 sacks and 3 tackles for losses. He's definitely going to have to be a key player and a guy to look out for if they want to win this game against Baylor. Devin Harper right behind him with 10 tackles on the day, 1 sack and 1 tackle for loss. They were able to get 6 sacks on the day. So that was solid. They got 9 tackles for loss. You got to keep that momentum on defense. And ultimately, that was kind of what helped them get that win in the end was good defense, a solid offense, a good kick return also from Brennan Presley. Got to give him a shout-out. 100-yard kick return for a touchdown. That's going to give you some momentum. So if you're Oklahoma State, just kind of do what you did last week against Oklahoma. You played a good game. You got the big win. The offense was looking good. The defense was solid. And, I mean, you shut them out in the fourth quarter when it mattered the most. So that's really a key factor and trying to get this big win and bring on a championship there in the Big 12. Now, as for Baylor last week, they had a solid game against Texas Tech. They barely pulled it out, 27-24, but a win is a win. Personally, I thought Baylor was going to win by a little bit more. But whenever you found out that your quarterback, Gary Bohannon, wasn't going to be able to play, it looked like he might. He was warming up. He had a small leg injury, but they decided to go with the backup in Blake Shapen, who had a solid day. 254 yards, 20 of 34 in the air, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So he had a solid game, and I think that with Bohannon coming back this week, I think that really is going to help out because, I mean, it's hard to replace his production, man. He's looked really good. He's thrown for over 2,000 yards on the season, 17 touchdowns, 6 INTs. But, shout out to Shapen pulling it off, getting that big win, and making sure they were a lock for this championship game. He did good work in his small time there. But the running game was really the big key for Baylor. Abram Smith, 30 carries, 117 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown. I think he's going to have a bigger day for the Bears if they want to pull off this win against Oklahoma State. Tristan Ebner, 12 carries for 38. The receiving core looked good. Also, I mentioned with Tristan Ebner, 4 catches, 118 yards, 1 touchdown. He looked good. Drew Estrada behind him with 4 catches, and Tyquan Thornton as well. But the defense, like I said, he did solid. The offense was a little bit lackluster, But with your starting quarterback not playing, you can kind of understand why. I think the running game's definitely have to step it up also. You need Smith to get a little bit more yards on the day. I mean, he's ran for over 1,000 so far this season, so he's proven that he can get it done. But for the defense, you got to be sure that you can lock in this Oklahoma State team who had a big win last week. I mentioned how many points they put up. So Terrell Bernard, your leader, man, he's got 8 tackles last year. He leading the team with 76 on the year. They were only to get 2 sacks as a team, as opposed to Oklahoma State, who were able to just get to the ball. They had 6 tackles for losses, a solid start. But, if you're Jiren McVay, Jalen Petre, JT Woods, all those guys on defense, you got to be able to play and pull up and get this big win. I think they can make it a close game. There's a reason Baylor is 10-2 on the year. They have a good program. They have a solid team, both on offense and defense. They can get things done. I think that with Bohannon come back, he's going to be playing this big game. Tyquan Thornton, their big receiver, he's going to have a good one, I think. Watch out for JT Woods, leads the team in interceptions with 3 at the safety position. He might get another one on the day. You never know. But I think that in the end for this one, this is a tough matchup here because you got Oklahoma State coming off of a huge win. Spencer Sanders and company, they've looked good this season. Tay Martin, Malcolm Rodriguez. But, yeah, man, if I had to go with a win in this one, who I think is going to pull it out, I am going to go with Baylor. I think that Gary Bohannon is going to come back from that small injury he's had that put him out last week. I think he's going to come back, and some people might say he might be rusty. He might not look the best, but, in a championship game, all that can kind of get thrown out the window, Jeremiah, because you got that adrenaline pumping. You got the crowd behind you. You got your teammates hyping you up each and every play. So I think this one is going to be a solid game for this Pac-12 or for this Big 12 championship here. And so I'm going to go with the Baylor Bears pulling out the win in this one. These are 2 very good teams. I just think Baylor's got a little bit better edge, just slightly. So I'm going to keep this one a close game also. I'm going to go with the Baylor Bears 28, and I'm going to go with the Oklahoma State Cowboys 24. A closer ball game. I think maybe a field goal, maybe some costly turnover might cost Oklahoma State. But, I mean, this one is really just flip of a coin. You got 2 solid programs. That's just my take on it. I'm sure all the listeners, all the viewers out there might, if you're a huge Oklahoma State Cowboy fan, drop a comment. Let me know why I'm wrong and why you think the Cowboys will win. If you're a Baylor Bears fan, I'm sure you were just cheering, jumping out of your couch, jumping out of your seat with joy after hearing that I picked the Bears to win. Let me know who will be your MVP of the game. Who's going to be a big player? Who's going to put off a bunch of yards? Is your defense going to step up and get a few interceptions? We love to hear it here, but I got the Bears getting to win this one in a close game. Like I said, it's a flip of a coin, Jeremiah. It could go either way, but I think the Bears just got a little bit more of an advantage right now.
Absolutely. And, I think that you're right, and I think this is going to be one of those games where as the season finishes out, Oklahoma State Cowboys and Baylor Bears, they've been waiting to see what's going to happen in this end, and it's just been an amazing season. Everybody's had a great time watching at sports bars, watching at home, and watching live at the stadium or around at the tailgates. This has just been great. So tell us in the comments, what are your memories from this entire season? What's been your favorite part? And what do you think the final score will be between Oklahoma State and Baylor? We're so excited to be here with you, to support what you guys are doing, and to bring you these shows every single week. So if you're watching us live on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, thank you so much. And if you're listening to our podcast, thank you again. But if you're not listening to our podcast, come and join us. We're over at 100 Yards of Football, anywhere that you listen to podcasts, including on Spotify, over on Apple Podcasts, or anywhere that you listen. And I'll tell you this, your support through word of mouth, telling your friends and family in person about 100 Yards of Football has been the reason we've been able to grow so quickly and so well for the past few years. And now we're taking it to yet another level. This next few weeks and next few months are going to be huge. And all of our new people coming in, we are so excited that you joined us. And all of our OGs that have been with us for a long time, thank you so much for all your support in the show. It's because of your support that we're able to come to you consistently every single week and bring you these amazing shows. And so for the entire team here, including our host Logan Landers and myself, producer Jeremiah Long, thank you for watching our preview of Oklahoma State versus Baylor. Stay tuned back tonight when we're going to have another live episode with an incredible Legends interview with 12-time NFL veteran Bobby Butler. So stay tuned and we'll see you then.